Welcome guys, today we are going to react to another video by Plantic, as you can see right there, Plantic. It's a video about Fabrizio Romano, and it's called Why Football Fans Are Getting Tired of This One Man. And I'm interested to see why we are going to be tired of Fabrizio Romano, the man himself. So let's do it. Let's get right into it.
We are just over half an hour from the window closing, and Arsenal have pulled off the signing of Mesut Ozil. A 5-year contract was put on the table to him. He has signed that. Mesut Ozil is now only playing in the Premier League for Arsenal.
That was the moment the world and these Arsenal fans found out Ozil was signing for Arsenal. But that was 2013, a time when the football transfer window was theatre. Sky Sports almost made it feel like a season of Succession. Unconfirmed reports of helicopters, frantic moments outside stadiums, polls like it was election night, and deals done on fax machines with minutes to spare. Then,
first thing I have to say, this guy's voice is very calming to listen to. Very nice. So yeah, and the visuals, crazy stuff. Leave a like for this guy, Plantic. Let's watch.
Then came a new era. No drama, no theatrics, just 3 words. Here we go. A phrase that belongs to one man, Fabrizio Romano, an Italian journalist who in recent years has completely reshaped how transfer news is consumed. With relentless updates, authentic sources, and a signature phrase, he has built a personal brand empire across all social media platforms. But somewhere along the way, the thrill began to wear off. These days, every deal comes with weeks of build-up, tweet after tweet. By the time
I have to say one thing. Every time Fabrizio Romano does like a video, he always does has 1 second silence before he does his video, and that triggers me completely. I don't know why he does that. He could just cut off this 1 second. It's also, and here we go. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Transfer actually happens. It feels like an anticlimax. There's no shock. We almost don't celebrate signings anymore. Instead, we track them like shipments. Fabrizio Romano changed how transfer news works, but maybe in perfecting the system, he drained the life out of it. The magic's gone. What's left is here we go again and again and again. So how did we go from looking forward to the end of the season to almost getting bored by transfer news? This is Football Explained. Top footballers sliding into your DMs is big, but Fabrizio's story started far from the limelight. Born in Naples and raised in a football-mad family, Fabrizio didn't come from legacy media or ex-player circles. He got his first real break at just 18, working with Italian journalist Gianluca Di Marzio at Sky Sports Italia. Millennials who got their news from Twitter back then know how big that was. And that's where he made his first major scoop too, about a then unknown Mauro Icardi moving to Sampdoria from Barcelona. But this scoop was unlike most others at the time. It was done all through WhatsApp. That too, from a random contact in Barcelona. This is the kind of hustle that made Fabrizio unique. He would get in places where most couldn't, and it's not by accident either. Years later, he would describe his workflow like this. I work 20 hours a day. I sleep for 3 or 4 hours, and even then I wake up to check my phone. And fans have taken notice too. Armed with a phone.
Yeah, so if you sleep 3 or 4 hours a day, that's not good. It's definitely not good for your body.
And a laptop, and bottomless pit of contacts, and a god-tier notification game, Fabrizio bypassed the usual media gatekeepers. No editorial filters, no slow print cycles, just raw, real-time info. By the time most journalists were fact-checking, he had already posted. And then came the magic words. In the 2020 January transfer window, Fabrizio was covering Bruno Fernandes' long-rumoured move to Manchester United. After weeks of conflicting reports and endless speculation, Fabrizio tweeted, "Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United. Here we go." That was it. Those last 3 words were an instant sensation. Fabrizio Romano became the internet's most trusted transfer source by doing what traditional journalists couldn't: speed, accuracy, and relentless updates. While others waited on file reports, he broke news in real time, often before clubs made anything official. This was also during a time when social media was flooded with fake, in-the-know accounts churning out baseless transfer rumours for clout. Amid the chaos, Fabrizio...
I think people do that too, so still there are lots of people that get their followers and views from fake transfer news, like that one guy on TikTok that always says like, "Oh my god, Kylian Mbappe to I don't know, Manchester City, what would happen, blah blah blah," and that's his main source of income. He's just doing like these things. That's still a problem, I would say, that people like abuse this stuff, but I mean, if you do, you just do what you do.
Stood out by getting it right consistently. In a landscape built on noise, fans craved certainty, and the 3 words delivered it. At first, it was just a way to confirm deals, but it quickly became a brand in itself. Memes were born and shirts were made. Fans started refreshing Twitter for it. Clubs began timing their announcements after his posts. From a Twitter account with a small number of followers not that long ago to over 100 million followers across platforms today, Fabrizio has essentially built a football media empire. Clubs, agents, and even CEOs now feed him information directly. It's a level of access that's practically unprecedented for the football industry, let alone...
I always thought that this guy was I don't know, he was already famous before he became famous. I don't know. I thought he was like a footballer or something like that. I didn't know he started from scratch, like doing 20-hour shifts. That's crazy. So that's mad respect.
Known for an internet journalist. Later in the video, we will see how Fabrizio almost single-handedly changed the culture of transfer news. But for that to happen, Fabrizio needed to be incredibly organised with his approach to breaking the news. And just like how Fabrizio streamlined his reporting process, Odoo helps businesses streamline their operations. With over 45 integrated tools, Odoo is a complete business management software covering everything from CRM, accounting, HR, project tracking to inventory and e-commerce. Let's say you're running a retro jersey store. Odoo lets you build an e-commerce store, track orders, send invoices, manage stock, and sync it all with your finances. No juggling 5 different apps or spreadsheets. It all works together automatically. It's powerful, flexible, and surprisingly like a pro. Check out Odoo by clicking on the link in the description. Thanks to Odoo for sponsoring this segment of the video. And now, back to the story. Not too long ago, fans didn't get updates from individual tweets or Instagram reels. Some older fans in the UK might remember CFAX, a clunky teletext-based service that looked like a football's version of dial-up internet.
There used to be a thing in the UK called teletext. You'd push a button on your TV remote and it would come up and it would be a very formative written screen.
That was Dan Cook, the man behind the hugely popular HLTCO account on Twitter and the HLTCO podcast.
And there was also a premium phone line that you used to be able to call called Club Call, and they used to advertise it on teletext as far as I remember, and you'd ring up and there would be like an automated voice, obviously pre-recorded, not a computer animated voice, but someone who'd recorded it onto tape, and it would say something along the lines of, "Coming up next, we've got the latest transfer news for Crystal Palace, but first let's talk to you," and it would be like an interview with the groundsman or the tea lady, and it would keep you on the line for 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes just because you're waiting to hear a little tidbit of news, and 99 times out of 100 it was completely baseless.
Bro, that's crazy. Waiting like 8 minutes for a transfer news to listen to, that's a scam.
But the desperation to know what was going on was a huge part of it, and I think...
Then came Sky Sports, and they took that desperation and made it a full-blown production. The Yellow Ticker, reporters surrounded by rowdy fans, and of course Jim White's yellow tie was its own headline, along with a few questionable displays. At the time, you didn't scroll, you waited at the newsstand. in front of the telly, by the radio. But by the social media age, the source of information had changed. Fans stopped relying on newsrooms and started following individual journalists on Twitter. But there was still room for suspense, as there were multiple sources. And then Fabrizio Romano arrived and flipped the whole script on its head. He didn't just join the conversation, he became the conversation. The newsroom? That's him. The studio? Also him. The only football journalist most fans needed to follow? Yeah, just him. But over time, that constant presence started to blur the lines. It wasn't just about big moves anymore. It was about every rumour and every whisper. From frequent Lamine Yamal tweets to every phase of a basic transfer whisper.
What does that mean?
From frequent
During the transfer window, here we go. Lamine Yamal went to the toilet. Lamine Yamal is eating. Lamine Yamal is jerking. Lamine Yamal is dating a 30-year-old model. Yeah. This one with the 30-year-old model was just such a bullshit. They're happy to be friends, and everyone was just making memes about that Lamine Yamal raised up a 30-year-old. I don't believe that. So yeah, it's the internet. Everyone believes something that is not true. So yeah.
Lamine Yamal tweets. To every phase of a basic transfer, a regular transfer move might get you 7 to 10 updates, but for a bigger transfer, it's relentless. Take the recent Florian Wirtz deal to Liverpool, for example. Fabrizio first reported about a potential move for Wirtz on May 8. From that point until the official announcement from Liverpool, there were about 50 tweets mentioning Wirtz, all in their own category, and this doesn't even...
What the hell? Wait a minute. Okay. 50 tweets about Florian Wirtz. Yeah, I heard about that there was like so much drama about that he was going to go, then he's not going to go, then blah blah blah. Yeah, 50 tweets is much for one transfer.
Cover all the platforms. At this point, the formula is familiar. Fabrizio posts a few tweets, drops a selfie video, a few more tweets, says here we go, a picture of the said players on holiday, and then 5 more stages of confirmation. So halfway through it all, you already know what to expect. Sometimes he's even tweeting about the specific time of day when clubs are meant to announce a transfer, killing even the last ounce of joy left for fans at this saga. This is in stark contrast to what used to happen during transfer windows before Fabrizio, because
Just imagine knowing a transfer before it even happens and just saying, yeah, you don't even have to watch the video from Arsenal or something like that. Here, Gyökeres is like going to Arsenal. Bro, this guy, oh my god.
Used to be unhinged. For example, the Barbelcopter. In August 2010, Ryan Babel was determined to leave Liverpool for Birmingham, and he supposedly flew from Liverpool to London by helicopter, only to vanish and return to Merseyside. To this day, no one actually knows where he went. Then, there was Peter Odemwingi's 125-mile solo car ride from West Brom to QPR on deadline day in 2013. He arrived and was promptly denied entry to the club facilities, as no deal existed. Captured live on Sky Sports, it became deadline day legend. Or when Manchester United tried to hide the arrival of David De Gea with a white curtain and failed miserably.
Bro.
Even the club announcements came with extravagant...
What the hell? I didn't know that. How bad? How... Just look at this picture. Oh my god, that's so desperate.
White curtain and failed miserably.
So the privacy things, I know people want privacy and don't want like social media stuff writing about them, that they going there and there and there and there. But it's part of the game. So if you're like a professional footballer, you have to live with that, I think, about the rumors and something like that. And yeah, you're like a man of... how's it called? I don't know. I don't remember what I want to say.
Even the club announcements came with extravagant, over-the-top videos to unveil the players. It was all chaotic, human, and unpredictable. Moments that defined the transfer window. But today, it's tweets, reels, and memes. The algorithm loves it, but that magic is gone. Speed overtook spectacle. Predictability replaced pandemonium. For some fans, it made the transfer window feel more efficient, but way less fun. And unfortunately for Fabrizio, the backlash wasn't that far behind. Fabrizio arrived...
Just something about that boring. I personally play football too, and I don't watch football at all. Just sometimes if the World Cup or the Europa Cup is playing, I watch it. It's not because of the fact that it's boring. It's because I just love playing football and not watching it. And yeah, so it becomes boring if it gets like just imagine you're getting to Christmas and you already know what's your present. It's like not fun anymore to watch the recent transfer news. I mean, you see them all online, and it's just nothing interesting anymore.
When the whole world finally adapted to digital media. News got faster, attention spans got shorter, and to his credit, he figured out how to game the system. Not everyone wanted to wait anxiously for a yellow ticket or a late-night press release, because some actually preferred the bite-sized updates and one-liner scoops. That became the new default, and for a long time, it worked. Still does for many, despite the recent memes and the occasional mistakes on social media. He has built a community of dedicated followers who genuinely value what he does. But as the frequency of updates increased, the overall experience began to change. To start with, there have been a few occasions over the years where he has been fast but not accurate. Beyond this, there are some who call him a tap-in merchant because he's often not the first person in social media.
The thing is, I personally don't follow Fabrizio Romano myself, just because every time you click on the stories are like 200 pages long. You just have to scroll to see the latest news. And I think that's why not following him. I mean, he's a great guy. Everyone relies on him, but I just don't follow him.
Media to actually break the news, but gets most of the credit for it. Some fans now prefer journalists like David Ornstein, who are more measured and more curated.
I mean, from my personal point of view, there have been 3 or 4 things over the years that Fabrizio Romano has done the here we go for in relation to Crystal Palace that haven't ended up coming to fruition. So it's not as though he is this 100% bulletproof. With certain high profile players and transfer sagas, there will be 10, 20, 30 tweets from him about a specific player. And often the same tweet really will be reworded a day later, 2 days later, and you're not really getting new information. If you look at David Ornstein, for
yeah, but that's a part of the game. I think you just have to earn money with that. Most people, I mean, if you do TikTok or something like that, short form content, you just oftentimes repurpose your content and make more money off of that. And lots of people don't even realize that. And yeah, that's part of the game.
For example, he's nowhere near as frequent in terms of his output, but when he says something has happened, 99 times out of 100, if not more, it's happened.
The same dramatized captions and some occasional mistakes made by Fabrizio are one thing, but a few recent incidents have raised eyebrows. Some fans don't even see him as a journalist anymore. They see him as a PR machine, paid to hype players, push narratives, and post on cue. In particular, Fabrizio's coverage of Mason Greenwood during and after his move to Marseille drew heavy backlash. Despite Greenwood's disturbing past, Fabrizio kept posting glowing updates, transfer news, contract details, match performance. He tweeted about Greenwood repeatedly, often sounding less like a journalist and more like a...
Yeah, he probably tweeted about Greenwood's allegations that he hit a woman. Yeah.
PR agent. To many fans, it felt like image rehab, with many suspecting it was paid for.
Even if he isn't getting directly paid, we all know that someone who is that ubiquitous in the space will have people who want him to report favourably on their players. So it may not be financially, but in terms of access, in terms of contacts, in terms of networking, you know, it's very much a case of him scratching people's backs and they scratch his.
In February 2024, Danish outlet Tipsbladet uncovered internal documents from Memo PR, the company connected to Fabrizio's operations. The documents show that Memo allegedly contacted multiple clubs, including FC Copenhagen and Norway's Vålerenga, pitching paid-for appearances by Fabrizio on his social platforms. One email offered, "We can boost your transfer narrative with Fabrizio's voice for approximately €1,000 per tweet, or up to €6,000 for a custom video." FC Copenhagen confirmed they received the offer, but declined, calling it ethically wrong. Vålerenga's ex-marketing director, Miran Amuntan Ansari, was blunt. "In my 7 years at the top level, I've received many strange requests, but never like this. It's nonsense. I unfollowed him on social." Now, to be fair, plenty of...
But I understand that it's unethical, but the whole football industry is moving towards advertisement, as you see on lots of platforms like DAZN or Apple TV. Even Lionel Messi gets his own camera on his body to film and play. I think we will see that in the future, more things, more incidents like that, and that will be common sense to us.
Internet personalities operate through agencies and teams. In Fabrizio's case, there's every chance that his entire digital machine, from outbound requests to tweet phrasing, is handled by multiple people across platforms. The modern football journalist is no longer just a reporter. They're part influencer, part brand, part algorithm. The line between journalism and content creation isn't just blurry, it barely exists. So when the backlash hits, it doesn't land on the agency behind the curtains. It lands on the face on the stage. And in this story, that face is Fabrizio. Some of the other backlash came not from the scoops, but from how they were framed. Take what happened with Rooney Bargi. In 2023, Fabrizio claimed that Rooney, who played for Copenhagen at the time, was being benched for refusing to extend his contract. The takeaway? The club was icing him out to force a renewal. But Copenhagen quickly shut this down, flat out denying the report. Tipsbladet, who followed the whole thing closely, called it a textbook case of how powerful journalists can steer a story, even when it's not entirely grounded in fact. While some of the backlash sticks, not every criticism online of him is fair though. Fabrizio is at times misquoted, misread, or blamed for things he never actually said. Ultimately, Fabrizio didn't just change how we hear about transfers, he changed how they feel. He became a one-man newsroom trusted by millions. And that trust now extends well beyond just transfers. For instance, in the lead up to the 2024 Ballon d'Or ceremony, Vinicius Jr. was the hot favourite to win the prize. The story felt set, but hours before the ceremony, whispers started to surface. Maybe it wasn't Vinicius, maybe it was Rodri. Then Fabrizio posted it, and that was that. No twist, no tension. Just confirmation that the ending had already been written.
We've all been there Christmas morning, you get your presents, they're under the tree. You want to shake them and wonder what they are. If someone goes, there's no point shaking that, it's a PlayStation.
Yeah. I said that quote beforehand. We have the same thought process, man, bro.
It's a PlayStation, but it does remove the joy of shaking the box and unwrapping it yourself.
Yeah.
And this tells a bigger story, that maybe in chasing speed and perfection, we lost the part that made it all so human. When deals collapsed, players showed up unannounced, and fans lived for the unpredictable. Now we scroll, we skim, we already know. We miss the madness, the late night suspense, the deadline day drama that felt like anything could happen. Because in the end, we're just fans waiting by the window, hoping to catch a glimpse of magic.
Almost like...
Yeah.
So Andre Iniesta, for example, is retiring on the 8th of October. Now, this was broke by Fabrizio Romano early. Iniesta's going to announce his retirement on the 8th of October, which leads people to be like, let the man announce his own retirement. So...
Fab, you know I love you, bro, but you ruined it.
My point...
Very nice video. Thank you, Plantic, for the video. I strongly agree with the things we said, that Like football is getting fast paced, like because of the social media stuff, and everyone wants just to hear facts and does not want to hear or wait till it's getting announced. And yeah, that's the sad truth we're living that. I mean, TikTok, short form content, and so on. Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you want to subscribe to this guy, here's his video. Maybe I'll link it down below. I don't know how to do it. I just have to figure it out. And we see ourselves in the next one. Peace out.